Hi, we are the SJW Killjoys. If you don't know what SJW is, it stands for Social Justice Warrior. And while I'm at it, I'm going to contradict one of my biggest feminism activism issues and say, please don't Google that term. If you've never heard it before, don't Google it. It's got context online that doesn't communicate our intentions or values very well, but it is one of those terms that we've co-opted in an effort to make it work for us instead of against us, which pretty much does now. We've been talking about doing a podcast for quite a while. We just couldn't figure out when to start. And I think it's pretty typical that when there's this thing that you really want to do, but you can't quite bring yourself to get off your ass and do it, that's kind of when the universe is just like sends a hailstorm of here are all the reasons, do it. Just, right down on your head. That's kind of what happened here this past week or so. That said, it is actually both smart and horrible timing because Zahirra is super sick at the moment, and that sucks. So this episode will look really different than the rest of them. Zahirra won't be able to have much of a presence in this one, which anyone who knows them will tell you is just heartbreaking because they're full of petty intersectional feminist gold. But, that's okay because we just wanted to get this thing up and running and get it like a website and all the things, and so that we can deliver a full episode next week and start just moving in the right direction. So yeah, moving forward, this little teaser episode is just gonna run through the kind of sections that we're gonna have in each episode. And I've got, there are more sections than material at this point. So some of the sections you'll get to have a taste of, and then some of them are just gonna have descriptions in this teaser. So yeah.
So, Problematic White Girl Corner. Now, this is a section of the podcast where I'll normally talk about something someone, most likely Bailey, has done or said that's problematic. At this moment in time, though, I want to say, if the term, quote, problematic white girl, unquote, makes you uncomfortable, that's good. Embrace that discomfort. You'll be feeling it a lot from this point, probably. Embrace it because it's your ticket to opening a whole world of learning, and you really cannot evolve your own feminism if you can't listen to your white or cisgender privilege being highlighted. The only way you can really try to be inclusive is by bucking up and realizing that, yes, you didn't choose these privileges, but you have them. And no amount of crying #not all white people is going to change that. As a little sidebar, if you're cisgender and white, but this term doesn't make you uncomfortable in the slightest, then that's great because cis white people were cancelled a while ago.
This is a section called What We Hate This Week. It doesn't have to be topical or relevant because it's about us. We both just have a lot of anger to work out. And with anger, the best, well, not the best, but definitely the most satisfying way to deal with anger is pettiness. And so we're both pretty good at it. So we're going to give it a go. So what we hate this week, what I hate this week is, it's kind of myself, actually. It's cisgendered white lady does an insensitive thing. That's the byline. That is what I hate this week. Kind of hate it every week, but fucking particularly this week, it's been a sensitive issue. Yeah, so, Jennifer Lawrence, right? You rub your ass on some history, and then you decide, after finding out that it's wrong and that you've done an insensitive thing, after that, you then say to yourself, oh, what's a good idea is telling people all about this on a publicity tour. Yeah, so you've just profited off doing an insensitive thing. I mean, in what world does that make sense? Get your shit together, Carol. You know, I mean, some days I'm more pissed off about white supremacy than others, but let me tell you, this week has given me just a fucking renewed sense of rage. And if I'm honest, J-Law is not quite the problematic cisgendered white woman I want to be talking about, but here we are, so let's go ahead and do this. I think that, like, she went on these shows and was talking about this and laughing about it and being self-deprecating. And in her mind, that was her saying, wow, I fucked up and, like, let's all learn from this fuck up, whatever. That's not the message you're sending. You don't get a fucking cookie for owning your fuck up. That is some basic human being level shit. It's just not how it works. I mean, but she did issue an apology. We could talk about that. This is so good. I meant absolutely no disrespect. I mean, like, afterwards she goes on to say to the Hawaiian people, but it's totally irrelevant because the problem is right there in those first 5 words. I meant absolutely no disrespect, but Jennifer Lawrence and other problematic cisgendered white women, you know, your intent will never, ever matter as long as you're a white person making light of a culture or an experience or an oppression that's not your own, and you're doing it for profit. It's literally white supremacy. And, you know, truthfully, I could pick apart every fucking word of Jennifer Lawrence's apology letter, but the episode is, like, not supposed to be very long, so I'll just say the last line, I apologize if I offended anyone. It's just not anywhere close to an apology. I mean, we could probably unpack that in a future episode, but I think, like, most of you could probably relate to that. It's not an apology.
Now, this is what we're going to call the most mayo thing on the internet this month, and I actually have a perfect example. Although it's of an exchange on social media with possibly one of the most mayo people I've ever encountered, rather than something that happened in the news or anything like that. So, I have these comments in front of me, and the original post was on a makeup tutorial, of all things. Yeah, I know, right? Anyway, the OP was complaining about the fact that this tutorial type meme had included different skin tones. Again, I know. Me, being the inflammatory and aggressive brown person that I am, I saw this, and of course I had to comment. I mean, why wouldn't I? But I didn't owe these people anything, especially not an education on why they were wrong. They were being very hurtful to a lot of people in those comments, and so I said, in all caps, white tears alert. The response I got was, Zahirra, you're just mad because we oppressed your culture. Shut the fuck up. Things ain't changing. You want to pull that fucking white tears bullshit, acting like it don't matter what we say? Two can play that game. So I said, you're just mad because you don't know how to season your food. Mayo ain't changing, with a very sarcastic peace emoji at the end. Sorry. Not sorry though.
Just a quick note, me and Z, we totally get that our aggressive and dangerous chemistry online is what prompted a bunch of you to ask for this podcast. So the back and forth format in this episode is, like, totally temporary. We should be able to present, like, an actual conversation between the two of us by next week. But yeah, so thanks for listening, and you can bet your sweet ass you will hear much more of this in the future. Did you want to have a theme song?
Yeah, go for it.
Wow, okay, that's some attitude. I hope you like Beyonce covers then.
Yeah, I like them, as long as they're not songs from Lemonade that are being appropriated by white people like you.
But that's, like, so fucked up. I mean, I'm not racist. I have a safety pin on right now. Like, I'm not racist, so I mean, it's not a big deal.
Well, You and your safety pin can get in the fucking sea, to be honest.
Oh my god, thank you so much. That's perfect.